Devin, what guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
What the hell? Diggs.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
Oh, Stefon Diggs.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
At least I should date my sister, Diggs. 100%.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister? And I might add, you're starting to be the runaway favorite for this.
Would nobody want me to date this? I'm a great guy.
Unfiltered.
Gather, my people, gather. Put your ear. Because, guys, this Stefon Diggs and Mila Adams situation is out of control.
Mr. Diggs said, I won't be paying you shit. Fuck, I look like paying you and paying another chef. Is you high, bitch? Pussy. I said pussy. Show me I'm pussy. Will do.
Now, this whole court case escalated really fast, and the verdict is already in. But we still have to have a meeting. Because remember when I told you my last video, when did I do the video? Wasn't it January? Maybe even December. And we talked about the same thing here. Remember, I told y'all that something wasn't sitting right with me. A woman came to the Dedham Police Department on 16th of December to report that 2 weeks earlier, while working as a private chef for Diggs, he came into her bedroom and became very angry during a discussion about money. What was this woman coming into your bedroom for? She felt very comfortable doing this. But to me, it's no surprise. I'm sure it's no surprise to Cardi. I'm sure it's no surprise to the other 600 women you are dealing with. Because this is what you do. That's why I said, you put your peen in every wide receiver on the globe. Literally. Well, apparently there had indeed been going on a lot behind the scenes.
Like one time he just told me, like, it's like, let me heal you. Give me a chance for me to heal you. And it's like, okay.
Imagine, guys, leaving one thirst bucket with a gambling addiction to then go run into the arms of a global hunch machine with a sex addiction, allegedly. My God, that would be enough for me to perish. Now, Cardi, you know I love you, girl. I love you a little bit. I really do. But this one that you chose makes Offset look like he's celibate, girl. And trust me, and I do really mean this when I say this, none of this is your fault. None of this. But I do have to be honest with you. Your discernment is at the very least compromised. It really needs a reset, sis. Now, this can happen to the best of us. It can. People choosing the wrong ones over and over again. It can happen. But fix it. Because right now, sis, your whole discernment is glitching. Now, guys, I need y'all to get comfortable. Get a blanket. Put your earphones in. Depending on where you're at, of course. Grab a drink. Grab a snack. And let's talk about this. Y'all ready? Let's get into it.
Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let cumulus clouds all in the sky ruin my vibe. Usually I don't do this often.
Now, for the people that missed this earlier mess, let me rewind back a little. Because for me, guys, when it was, December, January, for me. Now, back then, when this all happened, I knew Stefon Diggs as the NFL, pretty boy receiver, as the worldly sex machine that Cardi B was dating. But in December, he got accused by his live-in private chef, Mila Adams. Yes, guys, live-in private chef. It could be very normal, but a live-in chef. Usually what I know of is that once you have a live-in chef, that is also the nanny, that's also this, that. But I've never heard of but it could be. Now, she accused him of assault and strangulation after a dispute that they had in his Massachusetts home.
He choked and slapped me.
The internet immediately split in two camps. So one camp was like, lock his ass up. Because they were like, this is another athlete abusing women. We've seen this before. And we are sick of this, So I had my one toe in that camp. I have to be honest. One toe was in that camp. But then you had the other camp. Now, the other camp, the other side, they were side-eyeing this whole situation from the jump. So they were like, assistant who? She, what? They were side-eyeing this whole thing. Now, the rest of my body was in that camp. So I had one toe in the camp of lock him up. Because I was like, I'm sick of him, But then, all this cheating and things, because back then there were already allegations and whatever. He was messing with my girl. But then the rest of my body was in the camp of what's going on with this girl. I have to be honest, guys. Even though I was side-eyeing this whole situation, I was still on the fence because I was like, what did he do? Because he looks like the type that does these things, aggressive and things. So my spidey sense was never really fully turned off. So after these allegations came out, she just put him out in the open. You already know, the internet FBI, they started digging, guys. And the more they started digging, the more they started to realize that this might not be just a regular chef that cooks some food in the background and then, goes home, and they were realizing that there might be more to the story. Fast forward, guys, this whole court testimony later revealed that these two, because they met in 2022, via DM, Instagram, of course, and it revealed that these two had a personal relationship before her even cooking one pork chop for this man.
How would you characterize your relationship with Mr. Diggs?
I would say it's complicated. It started out as friends. We met. It started out as friends, became sexual, and we would meet up, hang out, and we decided I would come work for him like February of 2025.
Now, she became a chef, but they had a sexual relationship and everything, hunching all up and down the USA, guys. All up and down. Now, according to Mila, this whole thing allegedly exploded after an argument tied to money, travel plans, and Miami. But when you ask me, guys, I think this whole thing exploded just because of jealousy. After looking at all of this was just a full-blown relationship, guys. Full-blown. Jealousy to the max. But let me calm down and not put it all on her, because this was definitely a case of jealousy, but also a case of El Hancho not controlling his sweet tooth. Because to me, guys, it is one thing that you are an alleged sex addict, because that is how I see this man. Stefon, you allegedly have a sex addiction. Absolutely, you have to look into this. Now, it's one thing that you want to hunch every girl on this entire globe, minus us. But then can't you at least do it with some etiquette? Aren't there some rules that you can apply? Or hire someone to apply these rules and keep them all in check? Isn't this in the book of Pimps 101 that you can read, that you can't have all these rabbit activities with the people that work for you? It blurs the lines. Stefon, really, I'm serious. Have some standards. Because when I look at you, I feel like you have no idea. You have so much money, and you are so cocky. You are so arrogant. Your sex addiction, allegedly, is up to the highest level now, that you don't even see the risks that are involved with this. Rabbiting within your own house, with your own employees. It causes a lot of problems, Stefon, if you haven't noticed yet. Here you hunch your hairstylist. Now she gets pissed. She gets annoyed. Your hair's not done. Now you decided to hunch your cook. Now the cook is getting jealous. You don't eat. You hunch your assistant, house manager. What is his name? Lindsay or whatever. I don't know what the name is. Forgive me, but I think it's Lindsay. Hunch your house manager, allegedly. She gets triggered. The whole house, the whole empire starts crumbling down. You are a very slow human being, Stefon. Very slow. Now, Mila, to you. And listen, girl, this is a trigger warning. Now, I'm going to get in your ass, but this is always out of love. This is not out of malice. Because when I look at this, Mila, this really pains my eye. Because let you tell it. You're an educated girl.
I went to school for clinical psychology, so I have a degree in psychology. But I followed my passion in cooking because I grew up in the South and we cook.
Now, guys, hear me out, because you already know Debs. I will never put another woman down unprovoked. I'm even on your side, Mila. But you mean to tell me, out of all the cookbooks you read, all the books you read, and you couldn't read not one book on how to conduct a fast money grab? I don't get it. I really don't get this. No preparation, girl, when I saw you sitting in that courtroom. I was highly disturbed. Now, when you asked me for my opinion, like, was she assaulted or not, I think you absolutely were.
He smacked me with an open hand.
Do you know which hand he used?
Right hand, right side of my face.
Do you know which part of your face got hit?
The right side of my face.
I think he did this to you. And this is why I am so bothered. Because it didn't come across like it was supposed to. But he did this. And he was sitting there like the coolest one. Slick Rick, sitting there just chilling. But I absolutely think this was one toxic relationship that you were in with him. Now, he wasn't in one with you, but you were in one with him. Absolutely, I do believe this.
Was very emo. Sorry I made you feel that way. I don't want to leave. I want to stay to take care of you as long as I need you.
You sent him a second message.
Really sorry, Steph.
You admit that you were apologizing to him about December 2nd, your behavior, don't you?
I was being nice to Stefon to get back in his good graces to get paid.
You were apologizing for your
Not
behavior.
by choice.
Oh, God. Mila, so you had to play nice in order to get your money. But did you have to really? Because why didn't you sue him then? Why didn't you sue him and tell the people in the court? Tell the court people, tell the judge, listen, I'm distressed because now I'm not getting paid and I don't know if I can pay for my future kids, their education or something. Think of something, girl. He does not pay me and all this stress that it caused. My hair was falling out and things. You can get a nice amount for that too, I think. But then again, I'm thinking you might get a little bit more for this assault. And this ain't no joke. But you can get more on that. So I get it. But then you didn't make no pictures. No nothing. No evidence. Not one pic.
3 weeks ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from Mr. Diggs, didn't he?
Mr. Diggs offered me $100,000 to recant my statement.
That is a yes.
That is the
Your Honor,
only...
Maybe be heard at sidebar, please.
So he offered you that amount of dollars. You didn't take it.
Girl, you should have took that $100,000 that you said Stefon Diggs offered you for you to change your story. Because, baby, I don't think it's not one person watching this case thinks Stefon Diggs is not going to be found innocent. Just throw the whole thing out. Just throw the whole thing out. But I ain't gonna lie, you should have took that money because after this is over with, baby, I suggest you find you a nice, comfortable home. Keep the door locked. Just order Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever, because your face is everywhere.
And now you have nothing. Yikes, girl. Not 1 cent. So now you got fired. You were hunched all up and down that Denham, Massachusetts, where he lives. And you ain't got nothing to show for it. Nothing, not one single red cent, Mila. Haven't you learned anything from Gabriela Sanunga? Shannon Sharp's Uncle Shay Shay's nightmare. That girl walked off with a clean $20 million and let Uncle Shay Shay tell it. She was choked willingly. Hey, guys, just ill-prepared, Mila. Like, where is your tribe? Where is your team? Where is your scammers club? Where are the people? Because, girl, before this whole court case, I was really rooting for you. I wanted you to show him not to mess with you. I was rooting for you. But you went in crash dummy style. Just went into the people courtroom with your hair in a bun, sat there.
I'm not this... I don't know. I can't answer that question correctly.
And so that last week, that was a week you didn't work, right?
Because I was sent home.
Right. So you weren't in the kitchen cooking.
Mr. Diggs sent me home because he had girls at the house.
Whatever you're going to add is not responsive. Your Honor? Yes.
I don't understand.
The way you talked. Oh, God. No preparation. No practice. No role play. Huh? Sit up straight. Talk firm. Make us believe it. Who told you to talk like a dancer in distress with a voice problem? Just yes, no, I know. And then when you got really pissed, your eyes went big, and you were like, "No, we could hear you very clear then."
I didn't feel it was important that he was upset because I told him I was not in love with him like those other women. I was ashamed of being with him. I didn't feel the need to explain it to the police officers.
It all didn't add up. Mind you, I really think he did this. What a shame. If you would have studied Gabriela, just sat there, look at a couple of videos, maybe even text her. Or if that wasn't an option, he offered you some money. You could have got that, but you didn't want that either. You want $5 million without a picture inside, girl. How is that possible? Please tell me.
I was in shock. The first thing was not to take pictures. It was to get it together.
And since we're talking about money, Mila, I do have another question. May I? And really, I am really honest. This is not to shame you, sis. So let me be clear. This is not to shame you. But when I saw this, I was confused.
I didn't have money to go anywhere to travel. I changed the ticket because I didn't have money for Ubers to get home in Atlanta. Shy was going to pick me up from the airport. I didn't have a place to stay in Atlanta. I'd given up my place to stay with Stefon Diggs. So I didn't have money for a hotel or Airbnb to go home to Atlanta.
Now this really shook my hair follicles and discombobulated my head on multiple levels. So you have no money to get you a simple airplane ticket to take you from point A to B within the U.S. So we're not talking about Australia here. We're not talking about taking your ass to Madagascar or whatever. We are talking about point A to B within the U.S. You couldn't buy a plane ticket. But how come you couldn't get your ass a simple plane ticket when you made this a week?
I work privately for athletes, prominent figures, and wealthy families.
And how much did you get paid for this?
We agreed on $2,000 a week.
And how did you get paid?
Finance office would pay me.
Now, when I saw that, I was like, how is this even possible? Because I always talk to my girls on here, telling them that don't get your ass to a place if you don't know or if you don't have the means or the funds to get back. Always have your shit together. Make sure that whenever you receive something, you could replace it for yourself. Don't let the people control you with no money. I've been saying this. Please look at the videos. So now my brain started working. So I was like, why doesn't Mila have any money? She's been cooking her ass off in that house. And she doesn't have any money to get herself a plane ticket. Your words. Not mine.
I didn't have money to go anywhere to travel.
So my brain started working. Now, it could either be one or two things, I thought. So either you were paid by way of hunch, that could be the case. Or two, you were very bad with your finances, girl. You make in a week what some people make in a month. Where is the money? Now, when I had these two reasons, my brain started working even further because I was like, I can't believe it's one. You were paid by hunch, but I can't believe that's the. And then two, very bad with finances. Could be, but.
Singers, football players, basketball players, baseball players.
And are these professionals?
Very professional.
How much do you make in that job?
It ranges, depending on the needs they need from me. If it's a full-time live-in, it can range from anywhere $5,300 a week to $10,000.
So then I went to 3. And I was like, what could be? Now I started looking at you, girl. Now this is not what I wanted to do. The spirit let me just look a little bit further. Now I saw that your BBL was sitting up real high, real fresh. I saw this with my own eyes. I was like, wow. When I saw you do that dance, I was like, wow, this looks like a fresh one. So now I was thinking, is that where the money went? Is it hiding in your ass? I don't know. And then you made my head spin even more when I saw this.
And I was leaving out by the time I saw him. I was handing over birthday gifts that I had got.
So when you said you're handing out birthday gifts, who were you handing out birthday gifts
to? Him.
With what money, girl? This is Stefon Diggs we're talking about. Now, I'm sure you didn't buy him a birthday card at Target. It's crazy to me already that you are buying this thirst bucket, this trash bag of a man, a present. But since you did, with what money? Since you didn't have none, just cooking up a storm in there. Cooking up a storm with the hopes of, at one point, becoming the main chick, allegedly, for free. Let you tell it.
I was begging for my pay with Mr. Diggs, begging for days.
Objection, Your Honor.
And he refused to pay me.
And not even one lamb chop got you there, girl. No matter what big of amount of steamed broccoli you made for this man got you into that position. Now then I heard that allegedly one of your sister wives in that house, that assistant, finally booked you a ticket. Because let you tell it, you were broke. So she managed to find you a ticket. Yet and still, you managed to make a pit stop in New York. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mila, but if I was broke, why would I then make a pit stop in New York? To do what? You didn't have no money. Now, I can already hear the people say, but Debs, your broke might not be her broke. You are absolutely right. If she wasn't able to pay that ticket.
So I didn't have money for a hotel or Airbnb to go home to Atlanta.
A man could never take me somewhere, and I am not able to get my ass back to where I need to be. That can never happen to me. And then what really blew my mind, Mila, because I really have to talk to you, sis. Because, you know, Stefon, we already established that he is a waste man. We already established that. I'm very sorry, Stefon. You are a brother, but something internally, you got to do some work, some shadow work, you have to, this is, you cast to the side. Now, Mila, there's still hope for you. I'm talking to you. Now, what really blew my mind is that before you thought you were going to that Art Basel, where you were supposed to go, you planned outfits with the Grand Madame, the alleged main chick, Cardi B.
I was upset with him, not upset at the fact I couldn't go to Art Basel. Me and him have a relationship for over 4.5 years. He could have told me weeks ahead of time because me and his girlfriend, Cardi B, we were talking about having like outfits and stuff. It was like a whole thing being planned, and he just waited till the last day. So I was more upset with him not letting me know I wasn't going to come like at an earlier time.
You planned outfits with this girl while you were running all up and through her man. Where they do that at, sis?
I was afraid to tell the relationship between me and Stefon Diggs. It would have exposed a lot of things, and I still was trying to protect him and myself. I was afraid she knew. I was afraid. I was scared of how I'd be received by the public. He's in a very public relationship with Cardi B.
Mila, this is really another level of diabolical that you have to pay for, sis. Because no matter how you slice and act like that, the universe will come to collect, and it never fails. But let me continue because I heavily digressed. So Mila then claimed that Stefon Diggs slapped and choked her during this whole confrontation that they had. And this is the unfortunate side because he came with all his big lawyers, and the defense came in swinging hard.
And it turned out, Miss Adams, you had gotten paid for 2 of the 3 weeks that you said you hadn't gotten paid for, right?
This is missing a whole lot of stuff.
The yes or no question.
I can't answer your question correctly.
And you write to Sonny, hey, so I looked over my transfers, payment history, and they sent payments, 11/7 and 11/21, totaling $4,000. See that?
Yes.
So you knew that you had actually been paid for 2 of those 3 weeks that you tried to get paid for again, right?
What's your name? I never got your name.
Did you know that
I don't
you
know.
had
I was trying to address you by your name.
It was almost uncomfortable for me to watch. At one point, I started to watch this whole thing with one eye closed. And they started painting this whole thing as a financially motivated revenge situation.
I was angry at Stefon because we were friends. He told me at the last minute I could not go to Art Basel.
And yet when you walked into the police station on December 16th, you said you had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to you.
Yes, money owed to me after I asked Mr. Diggs on December the 2nd, when can I get paid?
Oh God, the embarrassment of it all. I almost couldn't watch it. But then it got even worse, guys, because when you thought she was getting embarrassed, she embarrassed herself. It was just a whole thing. Because at one point, the judge even had to check Mila because things were getting so chaotic on the stand. She had to check her and tell her, listen, if you don't straighten up this fast, because she kept on giving, her extra opinion, some extra statements whenever she was asked a yes or no question, and they weren't having it. She got about 2, 3, 4 warnings. She kept on doing this. Whenever she was triggered, she kept on, allegations, just putting them out. Warning after warning. Now that judge set her ass and said, listen, this is the last warning.
Tell them that as well. But courtrooms function and especially trials, unfold in a question and answer format. This is not an opportunity for you to interject your own narrative and evade responding to questions the court deems appropriate. And if you continue to do so, your entire testimony may be stricken. Am I clear?
Yes.
Now, after she got the warning, I was like, okay, listen, now you're going to answer the question accordingly and don't embarrass me like this. So I was really tuned in. But then the defense dropped this footage. Now this really sent social media in overdrive. And this is actually where the people started doubting the allegations hard. But see, to me, I doubted this whole thing before this, but I really thought at some point this was shakedown. Because I also thought, and also from the beginning, that this could have happened to this girl. Because people react very different to trauma. Because as we all know, some people laugh during trauma, during stress. Some people disassociate. Some people, there's all sorts of different reactions to trauma that people have. There is not one reaction when people experience trauma. There is just not. I have seen people act very normal after horrible situations. I've seen it with my own eyes. But now, optically and for the public, the way she reacted, the way she conducted herself during court, this did not help her case. So, Mila, let me tell you something, girl. I hope you do realize that you lost way more than just your court case, girl. See, you lost your credibility because not only did you hunch your employer like a Jessica Rabbit, but you also kicked it with his girlfriend during the process, his main chick. What NFL wife? What music industry wife? Scratch that. What high-profile wife would like to hire you after all of this without any supervision? Not me. Because listen, Mila, this is the way I see it. Having you around is very costly. Because now, let's say I was she's a great chef. We want her this, that. Now we want to hire you. Now I have to hire an extra bodyguard to follow you around everywhere you go. You go to the bedroom, he goes. You go to the basement to pick something in the deep freezer, he has to go. Because you cannot be alone. Deb, so you mean to tell me that you don't trust your man? Of course not. But listen, this is very costly, Mila. People just don't. You hunch the employers. Now, while I'm thinking about this, I think that you actually stand a chance. I think you will actually be employed, especially by the single, NFL players, the NBA ones, the single ones will definitely hire you because they know that after the meal, their dessert comes with a happy ending. So it's either that, you have to only mess with the single ones and they hire you and you have, they will be happy to hire you. Or you have to, as a NFL wife or a high-profile wife, you have to hire yourself a whistleblower of a bodyguard to follow this girl around because you're not really to be trusted, Mila. So now, not only do people start questioning your credibility in court, but also outside of court. All the while, Stefon Diggs was sitting there, didn't testify, didn't overreact. He just let his attorneys fight. And they fought very well, very prepared. And he was very rehearsed. The way he sat there. And he looked to the side every now and again. That face, oh God, I hated it. But it worked in his favor. And even the prosecutors themselves at one point admitted that you weren't exactly the perfect witness. And that is something you never want to hear when you are trying to convince a whole jury. And Mila, let's be real for a second, sis. You know that athletes already move around in the world with a certain protection package that they have. Expensive lawyers, money, fame, a whole PR team. You have to come prepared. That's why I thought you would come with some real smoke, some real fire, because otherwise you wouldn't be doing this. There was no brain cell inside my head that thought that you would come there so ill-prepared. So when accusations hit people like that, the burden becomes heavy on the accusers because they have everything in place. So you should already know that the first questions these people are going to ask is, where's the injury? Where's the proof? Why now? And what do you want from him? These are the questions that they will ask off the bat. Why didn't they prepare you for this? You got one flimsy lawyer, and they did what they were supposed to do. The defense hammered on the fact that there was no footage of the injuries, no proof whatsoever, no medical records, nothing. And the most important part, now I almost forgot this part. This was the most important part. No witness backing up your claims.
Did you observe any bruising, redness on her neck or chest?
No.
Did you observe anything on her face?
No.
Remember her saying that she was going to make him pay?
Yeah.
Does that say that he didn't do this to you? Absolutely not. Some people, especially when it comes to domestic violence, they know where to hold you, where to strangle you, sometimes you don't see anything. But let you tell it. You said you had some bruises and everything.
You told other falsehoods to Officer Ellis, didn't you?
No. Not to my knowledge.
You told Officer Ellis that you had injuries from this alleged assault, right?
I told him I had bruising, meaning redness, and soreness on my throat.
You told him you had bruising on your neck, right?
It was like red. It wasn't like purple bruises. On the incident report, pull that up.
It was best that you didn't even say that. But since you said it, then the people were like, then where's the proof?
I left Stefon's house on the 15th. I went to the Dedham police station on the 16th.
Okay. And you told them he'd assaulted you 14 days before.
On December the 2nd.
And you had to pick a day that was long enough ago that it would explain why you didn't have any injuries, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
So then, boom, after all the blogs, all the noise, all the think pieces, the court came with a verdict.
Madam Forelady, has your jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
On count 1, strangulation or suffocation, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On count 2, the charge of assault and battery, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Madam Forelady, members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
So say all members of the jury.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Jurors, please be seated for a moment. Everyone, please.
Less than 2 hours. Now, when a jury comes back this quickly, that usually tells you how convinced they already were. But just because they beat the case doesn't mean nothing happened. And guys, to me, that is where it gets really uncomfortable. Because now we are back in that gray area that the internet really hates. Because you know, the internet either wants a clear victim or a clear villain. But this whole accusation really didn't land in one vacuum. Because people already had their opinions about Stefon before the trial. You know, saying that this man is pure trash. A premium kind. And now, Mila, you have been heavily dissected online. That is really the ugly part about this whole court cases. Nobody stays untouched. So even though he beat you in this case, the question still remains. Was this truly a false accusation, fueled by money and emotional fallout? Or was this a situation where the prosecutors couldn't really prove what happened beyond reasonable doubt? Now, guys, y'all tell me, because I think I said it all. Do you think this girl will still get bookings? Or do you think she will get even more bookings? Leave it in the comments. And I thank you for spending your time with your girl. I know the people on the internet talked about this numerous of times. But thank you for watching your girl, guys. Now, next video, we are taking a quick trip to a Nigerian train wreck. Yes, guys, we need closure. Now, for the people, this is only for the lovers. We have to finish this 90 days. Because this Nigerian love scam train wreck, Lisa and Daniel, Beer Can and Laura too. Guys, you don't know the half of it, what happened. Apparently, there's juju on her and things, and I need to dissect this. I need to talk about this. This woman took her toe, her crusty toe, back to that Nigeria. Found another man. Allegedly, I have to watch. But guys, we need to talk about this. So hit a subscribe, hit a like, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.